Hello everybody, it is me Darcy. Welcome back to the podcast and welcome back to the channel as well. That's the wrong way around, but who gives a fuck if I don't?
Close enough.
And Kris wouldn't have realised if I didn't tell him, because he knows nothing.
Hey, well, I do know things.
Shut up, Jon
But
Snow.
no, I did not notice that.
Shut up, Jon Snow. Now, guys, just welcome back. It is the podcast, the Unnamed Podcast, podcast where I sit here with this guy for about a time, talking rubbish, or whatever else comes to my mind. Yes, it is usually my mind, and yes, we are usually here for a good time, not a long time, but also a long time, unless we're not.
Figure that one out.
Yep. Yep, that's a whole thing.
Yeah.
And guys, we're going to get started how we often do, almost always do, with a little bit of channel news. Kris, take it away.
Okay, so Monday was, I believe, the second last part of Spyro.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, that's got some connotations to it, right?
Yeah.
Why is it the second last part? Well, I finished the game, right? And then went, I'm still a little bit short of this 100% complete, which is not technically 100%, it's more than 100%, but, you know, 100% is... Yeah. If you finish a game, everything it has, you've 100% of the game, whether or not the game acknowledges that it's only 100% or says it's more.
Yes.
It's not more. You can't have more than finishing the game. Anyway.
True.
That's a whole thing. But yeah, so I finished the game. It took me a little bit of time to do, probably close to like an hour and a half. And I was like, sweet, I'm done. And I was like, wait, I'm missing stuff. And I went, oh shit, the Sparks missions. Which are just 4 little missions that only have 4 eggs and a couple of gems in them. But at that point, I had already been going for an amount of time. And I was like, I'm not going to do this. So I cut the video, I put it out, and I just went, alright, okay. Had no plan of making this 2 parts, but it's going to have to be because I have to finish all of the Sparks missions. So there is definitely one more piece of Spyro to come. That will definitely be the last one, but in terms of, like, actually the story of the game, it's finished. I've just got to do these last few missions, which I'm a little bit confused about because I don't remember when they get unlocked.
No, I have no
But
idea.
I was like,
remember.
I was checking them every time I'd finish like the worlds and like move on to the next one. And I was like, I'd check the other one and be like, nah, nothing here. And I was like, oh, okay, well, maybe I have to get to the final world for them to unlock. And I get to the final world and they're still not unlocked. And I was like, what the fuck is actually going on here?
I don't know.
But yeah, so now they are unlocked. I have to do them. And then there will be one more portal to go through, which is the world completion portal, which I honestly can't remember what this one is. But yeah, so one more video of Spyro left, and then we'll be finished with that, which is
the one that has like almost like a theme park at the end of it in the last one.
Spyro 2.
That is 2? Okay.
Dragon Shores is Spyro 2.
Yes, fair enough.
Yeah, I honestly have no idea what this one is. I honestly can't remember. But
It's been ages since I played it.
it also could be something completely just not even a portal. It could just be a door that opens and you unlock something. I don't know.
Possibly.
But yeah, so that's basically that's where we are with Spyro. We are close to being finished. We are on the cusp of finishing it.
Yes.
It is just quite literally needing me to just finish off the last bit. So yeah, I'll probably do that in the next coming days, and that way it'll be coming out in a week or 2.
And it will be done. And you have to think of something else.
Yeah, well, that's a thing. But hey, that's not a big thing.
That's a slightly better in the future.
It's not like I have a shortage of things to do. It's just there's a lot of stuff where I'm like, oh, this would be kind of cool because I want to play this, and then I'm like, oh, actually, not really.
What about Midnight Suns?
Midnight Suns could be good, but it's sort of complex because a lot of it is not like I try to stay away from games that have a lot of extra content that isn't story driven, where you can just kind of get pinned down in doing things that don't progress the game to strengthen yourself, like side missions and stuff.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling Midnight Suns is like that. Like I could easily just
it
go
does,
through
it does. I know I was very distracted the one time I played the game with everything else other than the story.
Absolutely, and that's kind of how I enjoy playing those games. So I could absolutely go through and just play a story run through, but yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know.
no, fair enough.
Maybe some Lego games might be a thing. Maybe I can play through like all of the Lego Star Wars or something. I have Lego.
Yeah,
I have the complete saga Lego,
nice.
which I think has all 9 movies in it and is massive. And I could
True.
do something like that, but again, that's a massive game with so much extra stuff in it.
Yeah, that's for sure.
But yeah, no, it's, as I said, it's not like I've got a shortage of games. It's just finding games that's like, oh yeah, this one will do good. Or oh yeah, this has parts that, yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it's just like a lot of games that I enjoy playing are games where it's like, ah yes, now I'm just getting completely distracted and not achieving anything. And while that's fun, it's
Yeah.
not really the best viewing.
No, that's fair. I do the same.
Yeah. But yeah, as I said, it's not like this. Like I'm like, oh no, I don't have anything to. I have heaps of stuff to do.
Yeah.
There's so much stuff I could do. Just have to do it.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
I could even go back and try and finish the Call of Duty, though I have no intention of it. Because again,
Yeah.
I think there's like one mission left that I haven't recorded before we get into like really stupid territory, which I
Yeah.
just cannot abide by. I really, 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 really hate how they did this game.
Fair.
Just that classic kind of. I was so enjoying it too. I was so enjoying it. I was
I'm
just
aware.
like, this is like warfare before it became where we are now, where it's quite, we're using drones and all of that.
Yeah.
It's like where people were still on the ground, but the technology was kind of what we had around when we were kids, and the military
Yeah.
was like, we're little kids being like, oh, I want to play soldiers, and you got like jets and stealth bombers and all that kind of stuff, and stuff is cool, not just like, yeah, so now we just use a drone to blow up everything because drones.
Yeah.
And so like I was having such a good time with it, and then yeah, just this one mission happened, and I'm just like, oh,
I'm done.
that's a bit of a shame, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, yep.
Unfortunate.
It's just like you were doing so well with making this kind of gritty modern world military thing, and now you've gone full fucking insane again, like you always do, because you can't just have a nice thing. Fuck.
Why would you want that?
Yeah, I know, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, as I said, I'll find something. There's look, I could even do like a Hogwarts Legacy playthrough if I'm being 100% honest.
That's true. That's not bad. Go down my method.
I don't know what that means.
Kill everyone.
Oh.
It's literally get the curses and then just use them constantly.
Right.
Have it set up, because I had it set up so that you got everyone to be cursed, but then also had the buff that it's like if you used Avada Kedavra on one person, anyone who was cursed, it was almost like a chain attack.
Right.
So just go through, do one curse,
No,
then start
I-
hitting them. Everyone's cursed. One hit, everyone's dead.
I did have a few issues with that game. And
Yeah.
I know that they like stem from like it's a game, so it has gamey stuff.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, I'm just like, spell cooldowns don't make sense,
No, they don't.
and the unforgivable curses pretty much. We know what they do. We're told what they do in the canon, and they should just do that.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't try and gamify it by being like, oh well, actually what this is going to do is do this. It's like, no, don't gamify it, just do what it says on the package.
Pretty much.
Same with all that. And so I had real issues with that with some of the spell stuff, where I was just like, we know what this spell does. We 100% know. Just make it do that.
Yeah.
Oh, but then it's not really good for... No. The game is about the escapism into the world of Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Do not be like, oh, well, for the game to work, this spell can't do what it says it does in the canon. It has to do something different. It's like, no, don't do that. Just make it the canon and be like, people be like, oh, but that was easy. You're a wizard using spells.
Yeah.
Like, the challenge should be from things like the enemies can use the killing curse on you too. So you have to be careful about that.
Yeah.
And shit like that. Not the crap that they ended up doing. And there was just some parts where I was just like, this doesn't... What?
It doesn't make sense. It wasn't a bad game, though.
It wasn't bad,
Yeah.
no, by no means. I just, like, there were parts where I was just like, I get that you're trying to gamify this, but some things don't need to be gamified. Lightsabers and magic do not need to be gamified. Gamifying lightsabers actually makes them worse.
Yeah.
Gamifying magic makes it worse. Well, not always, but in the case of Harry Potter, absolutely it made the magic worse.
Yeah, that's true.
You know who doesn't make the magic worse? The Witcher. The Witcher's way magic works is fine.
Yeah.
Because never once in the history of The Witcher have we had to worry about, you know, like, oh, well, in the canon, people can just use spells all the fucking time. No.
Yeah, no.
And then in the game, it's like, oh, no, sorry, can't use that spell right now. I could really... No,
not happening. Get out.
But yeah, no, so... I don't know. That's it. Lots of stuff to continue on, but first have to finish that, and yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we've also still got Subnautica rolling, Red Dead Redemption rolling, which I have gotten a bit better at. Like, Red Dead Redemption was one of those ones where I was like, filming this is going to be a monster. Because it is quite literally just, like, part of the gameplay is rolling around the land.
Yeah, I suppose.
Coming across random things. Getting sidetracked.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, you know, as I said, I don't really think that they make great videos where it's just like, in today's video, we achieved fucking nothing. But yeah, I don't know, as I said, like, I'm not too worried.
Yeah, fair.
And plus, there's new games coming out all the time and all that kind of jazz and, you know,
True.
lots of stuff there. But yeah, so, Spyro, long story short, Spyro is almost done and dusted.
Then we can move on.
Lots of other things. I know when you're done and dusted, though. So
Many things.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But yes, other than that, today, Wednesday, yeah, is Satisfactory.
Oh yeah.
Where I'm being told I was being a menace.
You know, you weren't so much a menace as just pissing me off. And like, I don't even know when it started. Because the start of the video, well, no, it's the start of a video. Kris fucks up, we get sidetracked, I forget to introduce the video, you know, saying, hey, we're back in this video. But, you know, all that kind of stuff happens. And, you know, that's fine. But then just, like, about halfway through, Kris does something, and it just sets me off, man. And then...
Very curious as to know what that was.
I think you were
I don't
just
remember.
being a dick about something. And, like, it wasn't even that bad. It was just that I was just in no mood. And I just go off. And, like, for the
Was
rest...
it anything to do with, like, stuff not running?
No, I was yelling at you because stuff wasn't right. The end of it, the very end of it,
Yeah.
where I rage build two of the things to make the key milestone, whatever you want to call it, start progressing. That's rage building at you not doing what you're supposed to be doing, because like it literally took me about 15 minutes to get two of the things up and running, and the whole like for the last 2 months we haven't been doing that, and it was like the simplest thing to just fucking set up.
It really was.
Like, fuck. But the other parts of it are just like you're saying stuff, and I'm just like, what are you even talking about? You're like, this, and I'm just like, get fucked.
Fair enough.
I think one of them is like you go like, you said something about incompetence, and I was just like, and that just set me off completely, because I was just like, can't even remember why, but you said something that I built was incompetent, and I was like, I don't think my building something that works and your inability to use it is my incompetence. You're like, I think it's incompetence, and then I just like go on this whole tirade, and then you're just like, oh,
okay, let's go there.
it's like, I'm just like screaming at you at parts. There are literally parts where it's like my audio is phasing out and like going crinkly because I'm just screaming so much.
Okay, I'm gonna have to find out what this was.
But yeah, like it starts the way it usually does, with you saying something and then me going on about you can't do that because you're not part of the union. Then you say something and then I say something back, and then I'm just in like fight mood for the rest of the video.
I do remember saying, no, that's right, I'm not a part of the union. I'm going to do it anyway. Or something like that.
And I'm just like, I'm in fight mood for the rest of the video. And it's like, the smallest thing just sets me off. Like, at one point I literally say to you, you fucking done it. You've set him off again. And you're like, set who off? I'm like, me, you fuck.
But
I will say, though, I know for a fact that the second part is less shouty, yelly, because after we get all that stuff going, I calm back down again. Because I think half of the rage is the fact that I need to do stuff now that I can't do because we haven't progressed far enough. And so when I'm trying to do stuff, and I'm just like, I can't because this isn't done, and I can't do that because this. And I was like, whoa!
Oh man, look, I was trying to streamline some stuff,
and there's a whole point where I'm just like going off, and you're like, I'm like, oh, this isn't helping anything, and you're like, oh, then why are you doing it? And I'm just like, fucking shut up. Me being rushed is like you being careful or some shit like that. And you're just like, what? Because I'm building stuff, and I'm just like, it's not neat, but it works, and you're like, why aren't you making it neat? And I'm just like, shut the fuck up. Me not making it neat is neater than you making it neat or some shit like that. And you're like, I built something, and I come look at it, I'm just like, it's sort of like me building unneat or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
And I'm just like, I'm just not in the mood. But yeah, as I say, by the end of that episode, I have actually calmed down because everything is, like, I've got everything working that needs to be working, and everything's moving again. And I'm just like, okay, now I'm calm.
Fair.
And then I think the next part of the episode is also the next satisfactory that comes out, because everything's now actually moving towards where it needs to go. I'm just like, okay, I'm calm again, and I go off exploring, and some crazy stuff happens.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Interesting.
That episode, I was just going crazy. You had a lot of points. Like at one point, I'm just like, you said something about, you're like, I'll tell your parents on you, and I'm like, and I'll go and tell your parents, and I was like, hey, blah blah blah, Kris, and that was like, Kris is and you're just like, wow.
Yeah, that sounds right.
I'm like, yeah, and then like after I get that, I'm like, that's rough. Going to the fact that I'm just like, how you feeling? After I fucking just like screamed at you for like 15 minutes, I'm just like, how you feeling?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And then I'm like, and it almost seems like I'm about to calm down at that point, and then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go do this, and then I just start raging again. I'm like, why the fuck is anything happening?
Hey, I was doing stuff.
And I was like, fuck it. Okay. Well, I've seen these before. Okay, no, they don't exist. Oh, fucking then I'm gonna go over there. No, yeah, so I was just getting really angry.
Yeah, that seems right.
And then, yeah. But then, we managed to get what we needed done. We are actually progressing now. It just took an episode where we literally spent the first half chasing after a Kris fuck up. And
look. I had the two goals of getting the power up and running, which I've done, and then I had to sort out the steel.
Yes.
And that, as soon as I finished, like, I got to a point of like, oh, I'm finished sorting out the steel now. I got to another point of like, you know what? This is super slow. Why is this? I need to add more. So I then had to work on it longer.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But yeah, so that's happening, and I'm just like, because I think at one point I'm like, oh, I need to do this, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go do this, and it's like, to do that I need to do this, and it's like, oh, god damn it, and it's just that like constant little bit of being like, I just don't have the base material that I need to do this advanced thing, and it's like, fuck it. I think it all started when I said I needed plastic. At one point,
we're not up to it yet.
There's definitely a point where I'm like, oh, I need plastic. And then I'm talking, and then I say something, you say something back to me, and then I'm like, well, you can't be trusted. And that comes back later, because I'm like, well, I can't be trusted either. Or some shit like that.
But, no, neither one of us can be trusted. It's a problem.
But we're talking about plastic, and from the plastic, I'm like, okay, I think I have plastic back at home. So I go back home, and it's like, and then like everything I was looking at said I needed plastic, and I'm just like, we don't fucking have plastic. And so yeah, that.
But in my defense, you've gone further into the science side of things.
Oh yeah, true.
Than the first time we played. So technically, compared to the first time we played, I'm pretty sure we're still ahead of where we were.
So not
Science-wise,
really.
we're way ahead.
I think the difference is this time. So a lot of things have changed because part of what's changed is you need hard drives now to do certain research.
Well, that's true, but what I mean by we're further ahead, like science is further ahead, but also I think we're still further ahead in the building side of things, because I don't think we got steel this quick.
I think we are further ahead, but I also think that's just because where we're positioned. But at the same time, I don't think we are actually further ahead from just a logical standpoint where we've rushed certain points, but we're still lagging behind on things that we had set up last time, just because we...
Whereas the first time we played, I was actively working on the main goals.
Yeah.
And it's like, we need to do this. It's like, oh, hold on, I'm busy, I'm doing this. We got to advance.
Yeah. And
whereas this one, we've got to do this. Okay, start doing it.
Well, I think another big issue is knowing what comes in the future. Like, literally last time, we'd go, oh, let's get a little bit of power, and then we get power, and we'd go, okay, now let's build. Oh shit, we've run out of power. Let's go add a little bit more power. Then come back, let's build. Oh, add a little. Like the power was very small, additive.
Whereas this one,
now we've gone. Oh,
I'm going to need at least this one. Go.
Yeah, we've gone. We need a heap of power, so we've spent a lot of time getting that set up.
Yeah.
So we're better off for quick expansion because we know what we're doing. True. But also at the same time, I haven't done anywhere near as much exploring as I did last time.
No, that is true.
Yeah. Like, so much of the world still hasn't been explored, mainly because there's I think weapons research, I'm definitely behind where I was last time.
Yeah, I think so.
And a lot of that has to do with just resource management.
Yeah.
And I think that's, it's fine, but like that's kind of the thing is like, because we started in a different place with different resources, we've done some things faster and some things just have kind of fallen on the wayside because it's like now we're in a position where we can actually just go hard and finish them, but at the same time it's like we never, last time we were more balanced. Think of it like a video game build. Last time we were very balanced, we could do everything. This time we're late game power leveling. So there's some things in the early game that we're not maximized for, but come late game we're gonna be fucking set.
True, yeah.
And so I think that's that knowledge, the information that we already know from getting so far. But I think what slows us down a little bit is the fact that some things have changed since we last did it. And so instead of just being able to quickly go and do something, being like, oh well, I need these resources to do this. It's now because they've changed. It's like, wait, I need this way more advanced resource. Where am I supposed to get that from? And then, but so I don't know. As I said, this episode was just it was a pain to edit because it was very long, and there was just a lot of like. Normally, I cut out a lot of stuff when nothing's happening, but in this, like for most of the start of it, I'm just constantly screaming at you. And so I'm like, it's not that there's something happening. It's just the interaction between me and you is just going off. And so so there was a lot of that. But yeah, this one is rage. It's just rage. That's all this one is. The next one, as I said, we finally get back to exploring. But
when you do,
yeah. Well, that's kind of what I mean by we get back to exploring.
Yeah,
I've always been the explorer, but like, the other thing that I think is different this time than last time is, again, that maximizing, as I was saying earlier.
Yeah.
But like last time, I think at this point, I had power cables just heading off in every direction on the map.
Oh yeah, they were all over the place.
Because I kind of used them as guidelines home.
Well, there was that, and you used that to get back to places.
True.
It was the easiest way to get around. It was just like, well, I got up to the top of this mountain once, a power pole here, power pole there, and just up you go.
And I'm trying to avoid doing that by maximizing and like putting in like actual stuff that's better, more long term, instead of having to come back later and fix it.
Yeah.
But there is a problem with that, which is whilst it is best to always build for the future.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's better to just get something quick and easy down and then come back and improve it later.
Yeah.
But the problem is the later improvement is like,
Yeah. I don't think I've heard classic number 9 enough.
yeah,
Or
I
as much
definitely
as I
haven't been
usually do.
using- I have not been using them much, but then again, I kind of haven't really been doing that much super high level exploring.
Yeah.
Classic number 9s were my go-to in the past, but yeah, I just like I haven't really gone climbing this time yet. There's been a few times like getting to my first Sandmore, I used a lot of classic number 9s there,
Yeah.
but I just haven't really gone up. I've been going around.
Yeah.
I do have to start going up. As I said, I really need a lot more hard drives,
Yes.
but yeah, I've kind of been distracted at the ground level, I guess.
Yeah. But now that we've finished the steel, I can focus a bit more on the other stuff.
Yeah, well, now that we're on now that that's all kind of done, we can now focus on getting this second part of the space elevator built so that we can actually progress again. Because I think that's kind of where we are.
Yeah, we can't do anything more until we've done that. Because I keep thinking the same thing. I'm like, oh, let's put one of these in. We don't have. Oh, wait, we're not up there yet. Yeah.
And like something that I'm like massively ready to start is the oil production.
Yeah, which is
But
I'm pretty sure isn't straight away in next year.
no, but I'm very ready to start that and have that, coming over. And I think when that does come over will be the time to like tidy up our base, because we will just ship it into our base to do all the stuff there.
Well, yeah, because that's all. It was a longer bit of traveling to do that.
Yeah.
With when we originally did it, because we were pretty much over where we are now is where we're getting the oil from.
Yeah.
And then on the opposite side of the power is where we were.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a long distance.
Yeah. So like there's that side of things too. But yeah, I think we're finally at a point where we're good to start moving forwards. Whereas before, like we had goals that were kind of like, this is more important than moving forwards. Like sorting out our power was definitely the most important thing.
Yeah.
And so something that I'm probably going to spend a bit of time doing other than exploring is just cleaning up stuff. Like I think I'm going to start trying to fix up some stuff. I might move some factories a little bit out of it and then just have the raw resource, the not raw resources, but the actual resources we use coming in.
Yeah.
That's something that I've been planning to do for a little while now. But again, let us know how, because my thought on a lot of that kind of stuff is I do it when I just go into the game and do it.
Yeah.
I don't record it, but like, if you want to see me and Kris spend some time actually planning stuff out and communicating with each other, talking about that, let us know in the comments, and we'll do some like kind of supplementary episodes where nothing new will happen, but we'll finally tidy up.
Things will look nicer.
We'll tidy up our two bases and try and have those working the way people in Satisfactory tend to have things working. I'm not gonna lie to you, then we're never gonna get to the point where like some people have the fucking oh look, here is a 2x2 tower that has everything functioning in it, because it's no. I don't go that part. I go to the point where it's like, okay, now I have everything hidden and the only parts you see are the factory parts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because one of my biggest pet peeves is that I do actually find there are times you need to actually go and touch the machines and like to put stuff in or grab stuff out of them.
Yeah.
And so like one of my things I hate about when I see people build and it's like all like super condensed and around cut, like just squished in, it's like, how do you get to that machine when you need to?
Oh yeah.
When something's not working the way you think it should be or whatever. Or how do you make sure that everything's still doing everything you need it to be doing?
That's
but,
true.
So my thing with Satisfactory is I like to hide all of the moving bits, the conveyor belts and all of that, and I like get things to be orderly, but I don't ever want it to be like, oh yeah, you can't actually get to that machine. Because like, no, I need to get to that machine. That machine has the thing I need to do with it.
Also, don't look underneath the steel.
I've already been down there. I was underneath there doing work.
Yeah, it's a mess.
In the last episode. Well, not the last episode. In the future episode, I'm actually down there doing work, and that's kind of what you see. You see some elements of what I actually do when I start to clean things up, which is like just make sure everything's all connected nicely, and
Yeah. That's That was satisfactory anyway.
That was satisfactory. It was not satisfying. It was just as I said, by the end of that episode, I was just rage. In the next one, I'm guaranteeing you, I'm not as much rage, but still, he's not a happy man.
But yes, other than that, moving on.
Actually, no, I do remember one more thing about the satisfactory.
Yeah.
I remember one of the things that set me off. I was like, we were talking about danger, and I was like, I am the most dangerous thing on this planet. You're like, I'm just as dangerous. I'm like, get fucked or not. And that's what I was talking about. Things that I build can kill you, and you're like, that's incompetence. I'm like, no, it's not, mate.
That's where that came from. Yeah,
that's a feature.
That's right. Now I remember it.
But yeah, so
I was wondering why I was saying
it was me talking to a Jeffrey about you thinking that you're anywhere near as dangerous as me, and that goes on for quite a bit. I'm like, even the animals.
See, it's funny because it just depends on the game. Like, I know we've said it before, but like in Conan, I am 100% the most dangerous person there.
Maybe.
I go and slaughter villagers just for the sake of it.
True, but I would argue the more dangerous person is the
one supplying the weapons.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So technically, yes, you would be.
It's
but
because in a fight, I win that fight because I have better gear than you. But I do provide you with gear to go and kill my enemies. But I'm also going to say in Conan, I am the only one of us who has built and used a catapult on you.
Fair point. That's a fair point.
Because when I get a little bit, because I get pissy in a lot of things, and when I do, people are like, "Oh, what do you? Oh, I see. The reason you haven't been out fighting with us and upgrading your fighting abilities is because you've been back at home building a base that we can't get into if you don't want us in. Fuck off."
Pretty much. Oh, it also helps when those the raids happen.
Oh yeah.
Except for when a giant serpent spawns inside the building.
Yeah, that was kind of weird, wasn't it?
Yeah. Just being like, it's here. We don't know where it is. I can hear it in your room.
Yeah, absolutely. That was fucking hilarious. Though.
It was.
Yeah. But yeah, no, like that's kind of like my whole thing. In games where you can build and there's like an absolute highest level you can build to, it's like I like getting to that, and then when everyone's like, ha, you haven't been doing shit, it's like, oh, sorry, and like they pop in with their, it's kind of like Ark Survival Evolved.
Yeah.
My friends would pop in with their like swords and stuff, and I'm like sitting there with like a machine gun turret, and I'm like, what were we saying about me not spending my time killing people?
Yeah, you ain't coming close.
Ooh. Surely you can't have enough bullets. I have enough bullets.
Trust me, you will die if I set this to the other setting.
Exactly, and that's kind of like the way I've always played those games. It's like,
yeah,
yes, you can go out and be dangerous. It's like that's fine, and I think Satisfactory is a kind of game where it's like, if you're actually a builder, you don't become dangerous.
Yeah.
Whereas me being the way I am, science makes me incredibly dangerous.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So it's like, I am science man, incredibly dangerous, and it's like, yeah. But in other games, it's like,
actually no, I think there is one thing more dangerous than you,
which would be
the dogs.
Oh, probably
100%. Their ability to build nukes, and we can't yet. They are definitely more dangerous.
Yes, indeed. But yeah, guys. So that leads us to the Minecraft episode for the week. It is another part of me building the Easter challenge, which is 20 days away now, just under.
I think it's just under. Yeah.
So yeah, I will finish the building of that probably this week. The episode will come out, then we'll probably film it. So you won't really get to see the rest of the building before the actual episode comes out, but I'll still put it out, later. But yeah, so that's kind of where we are. That one will come out. The farm is practically built now. I've just got to go in and hide all the eggs and put in a few finishing touches, really. So, in terms of all the big structures, they're all built. In terms of how to get there, that's somewhat taken care of. Minecraft, man.
Yeah.
You always feel like you have more time with these things.
No. It's never the case.
You never do, but you always feel like you have time. You know what it is. You have the time, and then all of a sudden life happens, and you don't have the time anymore.
True.
It's like, I've got to do this. Oh wait, but I've also got to do this. Oh wait, now I'm juggling 50 things, and I've still got to get this done as well. And then then you end up kind of where I've been over the last like week and a half, where it's just like I'm fucking tired. I'm exhausted.
Yeah, I get it. That makes sense.
Yep.
But yeah, on that subscriber count, we are at 268.
268. Yep.
Yeah.
So
we're almost at 270.
Indeed,
Make that happen.
That's going awesomely.
Yeah.
In all honesty, though, it's been really funny because over the past like 3 days, even the shorts, like we always say we keep the shorts going. They get a lot of viewers, and they do. Like for our channel, like the average short view is like we'll get like 400-ish views,
which is a good number.
Awesome, considering we only have like 200 subscribers or whatever, which means we're actually getting out there.
Yeah.
But like over the last like couple of days, like they've been going up to like 1,500.
I have noticed that like the Minecrafts, they're getting
popped off. They literally just popped. They pop. And like I think this lowest scoring one over the last 4 days has been like 800 views, something like that, which is crazy.
That is
because I think they got them. Like one of them literally had the view count it had before I had even seen the video.
Oh, jeez.
And I was like, Jesus Christ. And like, I know I hadn't, it had come out at like 6 in the evening.
Yeah.
And I didn't look at it till like 10 o'clock at night because I got home, went to the gym.
Still a lot in that time frame for us.
Yeah, absolutely. So, they've been popping off and they're going really well.
Yeah, I expect the 400 after like a couple of days.
Yeah.
It's...
But yeah, that was crazy. It's all going crazy, which is it's a lovely thing because it's like okay, so that's that drive to keep pushing and keep putting out the content, and and the fact that like the way I've always looked at it is like on average we get like 2 to 3 subscribers a week, really.
Yeah.
Since Saturday, we've gained like, I think we were at 262 or something like that. I think
so. That's what I'm remembering. So
as of yesterday afternoon, we were at 268.
Yeah. And
like every day, I was looking at the numbers, and they were popping up even higher. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Like I would look at something and be like, oh, cool, we're at 266 or something, and then like 10 minutes later, I look back and I'm like, oh shit, we're at 267. Oh shit. So yeah, that was pretty cool. But yeah,
super good.
Yeah, I guess that also just wraps up channel news, guys.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't think there's anything else to say, so we'll move on to the next part. There's something I said we'd talk about in the next part, but I can't remember what it was now.
Was it to do with movies?
It was to do with Star Wars.
Ah, yes.
Guys, I know I have kind of just tuned out a lot of Star Wars stuff recently, just because I honestly don't care for it anymore. I really can't get behind a lot of Disney Star Wars. I hear Andor's pretty good, and I have been meaning to give that a go because, if it's good, I'm not going to hold prejudice against it. I never watched The Mandalorian because, like, that just really felt like a kick in the guts. It was like, hey, we're going to fuck up Star Wars, but, we'll make a good TV show. It's like, get fucked.
Fair.
But now I think they've made enough bad Star Wars decisions that, them actually having a good Star Wars thing is like, well, I can watch it because it doesn't feel like a kick in the guts anymore. It actually feels like, you wading through the sewers and you find an actual piece of gold. So, yeah, but basically I was reading something the other day. I can't remember where it was, but it was something like, there's a comic book, a Star Wars comic book.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, I know some people don't take the comic books as canon, but you kind of have to. Everything that they do is canon at the moment.
Yeah.
So anyway, there's this comic book where Luke and I think it's Luke. I can't remember. The person has a yellow lightsaber, but I'm pretty sure they're supposed to be Luke.
Weird.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
like, oh.
bit of an odd one there.
I'm not 100% sure, guys. I'm not 100% sure. But him and this other person, this doctor someone, sneak into a place, and all of a sudden they see Ayla Secura and Shakti, two Jedi Knights from the Republic.
Yeah.
That one of them was definitely killed by clones because we saw it on footage, and the other one was actually killed like 7 times. Well, okay, so we have a whole thing, right?
Okay.
We have her dying to General Grievous in a deleted scene.
Okay, yeah.
Her dying to Anakin in a deleted scene. Her dying to Anakin in other scenes. So that's like in other games and stuff.
Yeah.
Her dying to Starkiller in The Force Unleashed.
Yeah.
So pretty much there's like about 1 billion times where she's died. But needless to say, we never actually saw her die. Like,
Okay.
Not in the movies. There was a deleted scene. It was actually 2 deleted scenes.
Yeah.
In Revenge of the Sith, where one General Grievous stabs her, and in the other one Anakin stabs her at the siege of the Jedi Temple.
Yeah.
And this was back when stabbing someone with a lightsaber was actually dangerous, as opposed to now where it's just like, oh, money inconvenience.
Yeah. It's like I'm out of action for 3 days.
Yeah. But we were like 99% sure both of these people died. And then they just like pop up in the comic. Now there's a few things that could explain this, like they could just be force projections, or kind of like they're at this like supposedly at this like force place, or this like ancient ruins kind of area. So they could just be like force manipulation. But either way, it's not good.
Okay.
Because these 2 characters are, well, at least one of them is definitely dead, like 100% dead. Like the clones were just like, like literally they shoot her, she falls on the ground, and then you see like a leaf go over her, and they just like continue to shoot. You know, the whole thing of stop, they're already dead. These clones did not believe in that.
No.
They were just like, did we miss a spot? Yep. Yeah, we got it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So there is no way in hell that they can be like, no, she survived. Although I guess if, lightsabers are less than dangerous, then I guess blaster bolts can be. And being riddled with them, you can just survive now.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, you know, at least 200 holes in your body because of it.
I think my problem isn't so much that they're like, oh, we're bringing back these 2 specific Jedi, one who we specifically saw die in the movie.
Yes.
Which, say whatever you will about Star Wars, the movies are canon. You can't have the movies not be canon.
Yes.
As upsetting as that is to anyone who's seen the new Disney movies. But like, just I think one of my biggest problems with Star Wars as it is at the moment, especially with Disney at the helm of it, is just how much backtracking there now is. Where it's like, oh, it turns out, that thing where we thought that all of the Jedi, except for like Obi-Wan and Yoda, died? It turns out like fucking heaps of them survived. Like, at first it was like, another Jedi survived. You're like, Jesus Christ, that means 3 survived. Wow.
That's a shock.
3 survived.
And that was shocking to all of us.
That's, how did they do it? And you watch it and you go, whoa, that's, but that's a 50% extra Jedi who have survived Order 66 that we thought about. Now it's just like, another Jedi survived. You're like, oh, just let me add it to my list of the Jedi that they actually managed to kill. Because it seems like that list is constantly getting shorter.
Yeah.
Order 66, what wiped out the Jedi and led to the Empire coming into power, and was a big and pivotal thing that was kind of important because, if any Jedi had survived, Yoda and Obi-Wan did tell them to go into hiding, but, it was kind of like, if enough of them had survived, then they could have, done things like help the rebellion, or, helped resist the Empire in places where people were being absolutely abolished by them. But no, now it's just like, fucking... Well, soon we're going to be like, turns out most Jedi actually survived, and we had a whole Jedi army. We just didn't use them.
And it was just all by one of the kids.
Yeah, like just that one kid. that one kid died.
Yeah. No. The one survived.
Yeah.
That was said that she was the only survivor, because she said everyone else was dead around her.
But like fucking yeah, like it's just like okay, Ahsoka survived. This person survived. This person survived. This person, and you're just like you get to the point where you're like, we have enough Jedi now to make a whole fucking strike team.
Pretty much.
Why do we ever need them to go into hiding?
And let's face it, that's a pretty scary strike team.
That is a pretty scary strike. But the problem is this, right? And this is a massive problem because like something that I always like talk about when I talk about Star Wars is like that there are very few Jedi who are actually warrior level. Like scary. A lot of Jedi, and especially in the time of the Republic, were like, I'm a nerd. I read books. Not so much like, yo, I'm Mace Windu and I'll cut you into a million pieces before you can even blink kind of level.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
And a lot of those ones we see actually die, like Plo Koon, Conan Mundo, like the ones who are actually confident, we see them die. So it's like no, these good ones can't come back.
Yeah.
Right? And, you know, so there's that where it's like, oh, well, a lot of the Jedi who survived were just kind of bad at being warrior Jedi, and they were, like, good at things like reading books and stuff. But at the same time, the more Jedi who survive, the more it kind of hurts the original trilogy.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Because it's kind of like, you know, Luke had to go to Dagobah to learn off Yoda. Which, you know, if you're going to learn how to be a Jedi, learning off Yoda is fucking great. He's one of the best.
Yeah, 100%.
But, you know, like...
There were many places you could have gone to learn as well.
Yeah, there were a lot of other Jedi who could have just helped, you know? Hey, Luke, remember how you had to go and fight Vader and the Emperor by yourself? Yeah, we had like 50 Jedi just waiting in the wings. They could have at least, you know, helped. They could have come to Endor too.
Yeah.
We could have, instead of sending a rebel strike team, we could have just sent a whole bunch of Jedi. The Stormtroopers would have been fucked.
Exactly.
But yeah, so like, as I've always said, like one of the biggest problems is Ahsoka, because she is supposedly one of these warrior Jedi, one of the general leaders of the army, fought in a lot of conflicts, fought alongside almost all of the best Jedi.
Yes.
And then, you know, because was made up by Dave Filoni, and he didn't kill her when he had the chance, like...
Yeah.
I reckon she should have died in Rebels, right?
Yeah.
But he doesn't want to kill his favourite character. The character he made. His little insert in who's now becoming so important to the Star Wars universe.
Yeah.
And that's an issue. Because, you know, where the fuck was she when Vader was around? She'd already beaten him once.
It's true.
Technically speaking, I think she lost to him but was saved at the last second. But, like, the point is... Fucking, she would have been incredibly helpful in almost every situation where they needed someone to help fight Vader or the Empire. But no, she was just fucking around doing nothing.
Doing something else.
Yeah. But like, you know, like, and I know they're like, oh, but no, this is what happened to her. And it's like, no. You don't get to pull that shit. You've written a giant goddamn plot hole because you know that this is the future. This is where everything you're building towards leads to. You can't change that. And what you did was like, oh, we're getting closer to that, but I don't want to lose my character that I'm. And it's like, just have it happen, you know, but make it cool. Give him a good old fashioned Viking send off.
Yeah.
Let him die fighting, but no.
Give her the best send off you can, and then leave it.
Make it epic, but you know, make it happen.
Because the closer you get to that time, that point in time, you just keep getting there and getting there and getting there. It's more unbelievable that it ended up happening.
That's like what I said like about Cal Kestis and stuff. It's like, yes, don't get me wrong, I like the games, but at the same time, the closer we get to the normal story, the less we can have a Jedi who's running around being a Jedi, because you know. The Rebels would really want a Jedi.
Yeah, they would hear of all of these tales and be like, we need to find this guy.
Yeah.
We need him on our side now.
Yeah. You mean there's a Jedi? Because, like, the thing is, like, and this is something that annoys me about it. Because, like, they're like, oh, but, you know, by the time of the rebellion, the Jedi hadn't been active for, like, 20 years. And it's like, cool, so there are many, many, many people alive who not only witnessed Jedi, but probably fought alongside Jedi.
Yeah.
Because remember, the big thing that happened before the rise of the Empire was the Clone Wars, where Jedi were fighting with the clones.
Yes.
And a lot of the people who joined the rebellion were people who were like, yeah, I was part of this group that fought with the clones until the rise of the Empire, and then I was like, wait, these guys are worse than anything I've ever seen before. And I was like, oh wait, so then you would have seen Jedi fighting? Yeah, absolutely. Do you think we could use one in our rebellion? Oh, absolutely.
Couldn't tell you where.
But they've all been wiped out, haven't they? No, it turns out they're fucking a dime a dozen. You go down to the corner store, you can probably find 6 of them just sitting there.
And just waiting for someone to give them a task.
Yeah.
Hey, do you want to join the rebellion? Oh, me.
You want to join the rebellion? Oh, I would love to. I'm just really busy, you know. Gotta clean these tables. But yeah, so like, that's kind of the problem. I'm like, I understand that Disney want Jedis. And they did this to themselves as well.
Yeah.
Because technically, if you go back to the Legends material, after the fall of the Empire, they rebuilt the Jedi. Right. There was new Jedi.
And there always will be.
And Disney shot themselves in the foot, because instead of following that storyline where they could now have stories full of Jedi, because they could just be like, hey, this is a new Jedi who trained in the new Jedi Academy. They're like, nah, the new Jedi Academy never happened so that we can remake the original 3 movies. Yeah. And the Jedi aren't a thing anymore. So all they did was take a time when they could have been putting in more Jedi and being like, hey, you know how we said that all the Jedi were killed? But now we want Jedi, and we never re-established Jedi being trained, so we're just going to have to bring a Jedi from that period to our new period.
Yeah.
That doesn't work. No. But, you know, they shot themselves in the foot. They literally had the new trilogy, which should have Jedi in it, and they were like, no, we can't remake the original trilogy if we have more than one Jedi.
No.
And so they fucked themselves. And now, whenever they want a Jedi, they're like, oh, we'll go back and we'll make another Jedi survive the Order 66. And it's like, fucking hell, guys.
Stop ruining the first 3 movies.
How about we just say, turns out Order 66 was just a bad nightmare. All the Jedi survived. It's just when Anakin turned, they all went, ooh, and, you know, took off their cloaks and lightsabers and, you know, went and became...
Walking for, like, cowboy hats, and off they went.
They went and lived on the wild frontiers. Word is, if you go to Tatooine, you can still find Jedi roaming the wastes.
In actuality, it's not tumbleweeds that are there.
It's just Jedi.
It's not wind pushing them, it's Jedi moving them along.
Well, no, I thought you were saying, like, the Jedi were the tumbleweeds. Like, you see tumbleweed, it's just a Jedi lying on the ground rolling.
No, see, that depends on the size of the tumbleweed. The small one's just like, you know, I don't want to roll today. I'm just going to move this thing over.
But that's
yes.
That's my problem with Star Wars. Like, one of the biggest things at the moment is, like, they're like, Star Wars isn't really Star Wars if you don't have a Jedi in it. Otherwise, it's just a space talk, and that's bullshit. You know, you put the right stories in Star Wars and have them in that world, you know, and don't like force interactions with mainline characters just because, you know, you need to remind everyone you're in Star Wars. Hey, look, here is a smuggler, and they just ran into Han Solo because it's Star Wars. It's a galaxy, motherfucker. You're not gonna just run into. It's not like you're fucking both living in this small town, and you're like, hey. Oh yeah, you know, Han Solo's back in town. It's like, you're in the fucking galaxy. The chance of you running into anyone that anyone recognizes is slim to none.
It's actually more likely it's like, oh, Han Solo's back in the solar system.
Yeah. But anyway.
it's like, and you still might not fucking run into him.
But yeah, like, you know, you have that Star Wars kind of aesthetic, have that kind of, But no, they're just, you know, it's almost like they're saying, if there's not a Jedi in it, it's not really Star Wars. And then they go, but where do we get a Jedi from? Quickly, another one survives Order 66. Oh, it's like, Jesus Christ. By the time I'm an old man, the clones would have just been using fucking water guns.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Jedi are like wicked witches of the West. Just squirt them and they die. Guys, they don't understand how this works. Just pretend to be dead.
Yeah. Are they gone yet? Yeah. Okay, get up. Slowly move. But hide.
Clones are like T-Rexes. They only see movement. Anyway, no, but that's I don't know. That's just something that I've noticed more and more as Star Wars continues under its Disney campaign. It's just like, yep, okay, enough. The Jedi survived. What's this? Oh, we're making a new story. Another Jedi survived. 7 this time, actually.
Yeah.
Cool. Cool. But yeah. No, that's just my take on it all. I'm just like, what the fuck is even happening?
Yeah, who knows? Who knows at this point?
Yeah.
You know, I hate going on social media at this time of year.
Why? Easter? What's happening on social media?
No, it's the 2nd of April.
Oh.
Just sick of posts being there.
If they're doing it now, they're a bit late.
No, as in, like, I see it today from yesterday sort of thing, and it's just
I just
like...
mainly ignore anything that comes out on April 1st.
Yeah, but the thing is, sometimes I forget what the date is, like, very much like yesterday, and I'm reading something like, oh, Hunter x Hunter, they're going to the Dark Continent? Hell yeah, but down the bottom, April Fools, fuck you guys.
Oh, mate. It's great. I'm just like, oh, phone bill. Must be an April Fool joke.
Exactly. I think that's how we've got to treat it.
Oh. Pay for my car insurance, April Fools.
Not happening today. 2 weeks later, you didn't pay. Oh, it was a joke.
What are you talking about? You didn't send me anything? Yeah, we sent you it on April 1st. I got a fake thing, an April Fool's joke about having to pay you guys money, but
Go. Let's calm down. Yeah.
No, I honestly don't pay attention to most things about like this. I also think, like, for me personally, my own whimsy is enough that I don't need a day when it's like, haha, you're allowed to be whimsical today.
Oh no,
I'm just like, man, I'm charming and whimsical every day.
It's just
I'm like a little elf man.
I just don't like that. It's like the amount of companies that do it as well, especially like those bigger companies. That's like, oh, it was an April Fool's joke. It's like, screw you. You're our source of information for these things. Go fuck yourself.
I
hate seeing it.
I know in the past there used to be like I remember the BBC did like a big April Fool's prank where they got like David Attenborough and stuff to do stuff, and it's like, that was ages ago though. Whereas now it just like, it feels like every time a big company says something, you just kind of sitting there going, you fucking bastards.
Yeah,
like there's no whimsy in them. It's just so they can sell you the next thing.
It seems
like, haha, it's April Fool's Day, quickly buy our stuff. We have special April Fool's Day stuff. Buy it now quick. And just like it doesn't feel like they're doing it, and like, and it comes down to the people behind it, right?
Yeah.
A company like Nike or Adidas could put out an April Fool's joke that's purely an April Fool's joke, but because the people behind it have for so long made like every single issue be like, now we're going to use this issue to market our stuff, so buy our stuff. It's like, now they do something, and even if it's not really about buying their stuff, you sit there and you go like, this is just an attempt to make me buy your stuff.
Yeah, pretty much.
And you're just like, I'm just ignoring you.
Well, see, this one, the Hunter x Hunter thing I mentioned, it's like, companies know that people have been waiting for years in the hopes that they continue on the story and make anime about the rest of the story. It's probably, more than likely, will never happen.
No.
But it's still one of those things. And then they had a couple of major announcements this year. So only like a month ago.
Right.
And it's like major announcements, and it's like things say, it's like, hey, there might be another major announcement down the track, and then you see this, and you go, oh, fuck, was this the other major announcement? And then it's just like April Fool's, and like, fuck you. It's like, don't tag on to the end of the big announcements that just happened to make an April Fool's joke. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah. Also, like, I feel if they're going to do something like that, like, especially if it's like a news place or something.
Yeah.
They should say April Fool's by the end of the first paragraph.
Yeah, whereas there it's like you read through like 3 paragraphs, and at the very bottom it was just one line saying April Fool's. It's like, fuck you. I read through all of that.
Don't waste my time. Let me know that what I'm reading is a joke early enough in, like, not so early that, you know, you read the first thing, say April Fool's, and go, oh, this is worthless. But like, read the first paragraph and be like, oh, this is taking...
Get a little bit of excitement up. Oh, fuck.
This has taken 30 seconds of my life, and it's an April Fool. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Not read like 3 or 4 paragraphs and be like, oh, by the way, this was an April Fool's joke. It's like, you've just wasted my time. Thank you.
And that's the unforgivable thing. It's the wasting of the time that's unforgivable. Yeah. But as I said, like, I honestly don't take much stock in April Fool's Day, because I'm just like...
Neither do I.
I'm just like... It feels like a disconnected thing, right? It feels like the people who are out there doing it are... Like, I guess the classic internet way to talk about them would be to call them boomers. But I don't actually believe in that term.
No.
I don't believe, like, just because someone's old, they're a boomer now. And it's like, no, I've met lots of old people who are very charming and very witty still.
Yeah.
And they're very, very, very attached to the topics of the current world.
Yeah.
So, in fact, I would even go as far to say as I've met more young people who are more boomer than almost anything else I've ever seen, because they're just so disconnected from everything around them.
True.
But
Yeah.
no, but like, just, like, the Steve Buscemi thing, "Hello, fellow kids," where he's like clearly an old man dressed as like a teenager.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I always get the feeling of when I see people like doing April Fools and like taking April Fools seriously. It's like me walking into my place of employment, like, for you, like, it would actually work better for you.
Yeah.
But it'd be like you walking into Bunnings and the boss is down there trying to fool people and be like, and you're just like, please stop.
Please leave me alone.
I already don't have any respect for you. You're just making it worse.
It's like, I do not want to be here. Don't make me want to leave now.
Yeah, it's just like, and that's what I feel like whenever I see like people who are like, aha, it's April Fool's, it's the day we're allowed to be, and it's like, no, you're always allowed to be silly.
See, my thing is, I will do the joke, the prank, whatever it happens to be, any day of the year. It doesn't matter.
Generally, as soon as it happens to me, I'm just like, bang, okay, I'm gonna get someone now. I've got a plan.
Exactly.
But, like, as I said, it's that feeling of, like, you walk into, like, your corporate, not even corporate, but, like, your big business job, and you see the boss there, and he's like, ha, ha, ha. It's like, when they dress up like Santa Claus, and it's like, you're like, oh, fucking please just stop.
Yeah.
And you're like, and the boss is dressed up Santa Claus, like, I'm Santa, and you're like, you're gonna, I don't want to punch Santa in front of all of these kids, and they're like, what do you mean? It's like, you're making me do this. I don't wanna. And then you like hit him 7 times, and you're like, I told you I didn't want to do this, but you just wouldn't stop.
That's it.
But yeah, like, that's how I always feel when I see people doing like the whole, it's April Fool's Day. It's just like, you are just, no. Like, you're not whimsical, you're not mischievous. You're none of the good things that this day is supposed to represent. No. You're just using this day to try and be like, oh, look at me, I'm one of you.
I can be fun. Fuck off.
You're not fun. No one likes you. Go back to your office and sit in shame.
Yes. That seems right.
We'll invite you to the cool kids table once everyone else is fucking left.
Including me.
But yeah, no, like that's it. And it's like, that's for me, like that's where I always sit with that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah,
and that's kind of why this year I'm like, I want to do this Halloween party. Because I'm just like,
he's trying to be cool. No,
exactly. No, I'm like, that is something where it's like, like everyone's like, oh, we should do a Halloween party, and then they do the Halloween party. And it's just everyone rocks up, and no one's actually. It's not. It might as well just be an average day.
Oh yeah.
Because like, and like one person might come with like, fucking, I'm wearing a silly hat. This is my cost, and it's like, I'm like, okay, alright, that's the usual thing. That's why I was like, this year I'm like, I want to do this, but I want to do it properly. I want to put in effort. I want people to come dressed up. Yeah. I don't want people to be like, oh, okay, now that we've done this, I'm gonna go get changed into other clothes and go out. It's like, no, this is the party that we'll go out dressed up like this. And when people go, oh, why are you all dressed up like idiots? You'd be like, because it's fucking Halloween, you wanker.
Fuck you.
And it's like,
you're the dumb one here.
Yeah, it's like, but like, that's like the epitome of like my idea of when people just don't commit to things, and what makes people incredibly lame and unfun to be around. It's like when they're like, oh yeah, I'll come to your party, and they dress up, and they're they're all dressed up, and then you're like, okay, cool, we're gonna head out, and they're like, oh, just give me a second. They come in, they change into their like jeans and their t-shirt, and they're like, oh, what happened to your costume? I don't want to go out dressed like that. It's like, why? Oh, because then people might think I'm silly.
Fuck you.
That's the point.
Yeah.
The point, the only reason people go out of a nighttime is to pretend that they don't have any adult problems.
Yeah.
You don't need to go out and be the coolest person, because I guarantee you no one out there gives a fuck. They
not in the slightest.
And, especially around here, there's no reason to go to the goat and try and impress anyone. Fucking...
No, there really isn't.
They're just, so... that's kind of my thing. I'm like, and that's why I'm really like into doing this like Halloween party. I mean, like, let's do a Halloween party. Let's commit. Let's dress up in costumes and you know, if people want to go out at the end of the night, we'll go out in a group all dressed in our costumes.
Yeah.
And you know, and have a good time and be a group, not just a bunch of people who are, you know, just there sort of together until, you know, they decide they don't want to be there anymore.
Fair, yeah.
But yeah, so I was like, yeah, and that's the thing, really push it home, really be like, yeah, let's do it right.
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah. Gotta think of a costume now.
And avoid the whole thing of being like that 80-year-old who's trying to hang out with all the 20-year-olds and being like,
yeah,
you know, avoid that by just actually having fun and committing to doing it, and not like half-heartedly committing and being like, see, I'm only doing this to fit in with all of you children. No, fuck it, I'm doing it because I want to.
Yeah,
I think that's the big thing. I think that's one of my biggest problems with like 90% of the people I know is like so many of them are like, yeah, that sounds like all, but I can't actually do that. Why not? Well, as much as I'd love to, people might judge me for it. It's like, fucking gives a shit what they think. But you know, they might judge me, dude. If you're not constantly judging them for them, you know, they should be embarrassed for the way they act, not the way you act.
Yeah, that's it.
Don't. I guess what I'm trying to say there is like, don't try and impress people who, you know, think a good time is going out and watching a car drive around in circles.
Fair point.
Screeching its fucking tires.
Yeah.
You know, the day that I let those people, what their judgment of me change the way I behave, is the day I go and jump into a fucking crocodile-infested river.
I'm very assume this is very much aimed at this weekend, and the reason why we can't go over town this weekend.
Yeah, well, you know, fucking.
Or we'll refuse to. It's not that we can't. It's just hell no, we ain't doing it.
I hope it's actually really wet this weekend.
So do I.
Because that'll stop all of their fun.
It would, actually.
Sorry, we can't do burnouts today because the roads are too slippery and you're likely to end up in the river. No, let them try it anyway. I'd go out. I'd go there. No, let him go. Come on, let him do it.
Yeah, no, see, that's...
Oh, shit, a third one's ended up in the river. God.
Damn, that's the third out of 3. Wow,
Oh, well, 4 points, Charm. Come on. Next person up. Let's go.
Wow, they really can't drive.
We've got a schedule to keep. No, fucking, yeah, no, I'm just like, but that's kind of like my whole thing. When you actually care what people who like have no bearings on you, like,
yeah,
fuck, I spend half of my life with you, and I don't give a shit what you think about me.
I'm aware.
Exactly. And it's like, you know, there's very few people who, if they actually thought anything about me, would change my attitude.
Yeah.
You would imagine you're one of them, but no, because I'm just, you know.
No, I never figured that.
Why would I care about someone else's opinion? I do what I want.
Yeah, that's pretty straightforward.
Exactly. And I just can't understand these people who are like, but, you know, if I go out a bunch of total randoms who I will never meet again and hopefully never will see again, because Rockhampton, might judge me. And it's like, okay, who cares if they do? What do you mean?
Yeah.
Well, when they go back to Depot Hill, who cares what they think of you?
Yeah, pretty much. It's pretty standard. Or if they're from out of town, it's like, well, they're gonna drive 2 to 3 hours west.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you know, I kind of think back to all the best times I've ever had, and on those nights, I'm like, there was at least 3 or 4 people who looked at me and my friends that night and went, what are they doing? And you know what our attitude was? Get fucked.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Just roll on by doing what we're doing, because we were having fun. We were together. We were a squad. And I think that's what people here just don't understand. It's like, when you're rolling with your homies, nothing you do is wrong.
No.
But here, you know, we're all too concerned about, oh, you've got to be cool. Why do you got to be cool? Because if I'm not cool, that girl won't go home with me. That girl's not going home with you anyway, so have fun.
Pretty much, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no, that's fair.
What are we doing here? Why are we worried about what this girl thinks when you don't have a shot with her to begin with? And if I'm being honest, she's probably too young for you.
I mean, if you're going out for the go, yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no doubt about it.
Megan Eyes is a specific one of our friends right now. You know who you are. Actually, fuck. Megan Eyes are 2 of our friends right now.
Yes.
Both know who you are. But yeah.
Yeah.
I just said, like, there's just so much where I'm just like, who gives a fuck? And they're like, oh no, but you can't. And it's like, who gives a fuck? You know how much happier you would be if you stopped letting other people's opinion of you change who you are? You'd be as happy as fuck. Anyway.
Yeah.
Guys, I think that just about wraps us up for the day. You know, we've been going for enough of a time.
Yeah.
I kind of really have to pee right now.
Fair.
That's pulling back the curtain and showing you how the sausage is made. But guys, yeah, so we're going to wrap it up. Thank you for joining us. If you have liked this video, consider liking, sharing, commenting, or subscribing. If you haven't already, it really does mean a lot to us here. If you want to see more from me and Kris, check out the rest of the channel. We play a whole variety of video games. Some of them we play together, some of them I play myself, but either way, we play them averagely. Because that is who we are, that is what we do, and we're not going to change it, not for you, not for anyone else.
Nope.
But guys, until next time, I've been Darcy, he's been Kris.
Yeah.
We will catch you when we catch you.
So
Until
never,
then.
because we've never seen them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I've got nets. Big nets.
Big nets?
Big nets.
Be careful.
But guys, until then, you have a lovely day, and we will be going now.
Yes.
Goodbye.
See ya.
Finger guns. Don't you dare.